What if I told you that not every Japanese SUV deserves your hard-earned money? What if some of the most popular models from brands you trust are actually disappointing compromises that will leave you frustrated and regretful? For decades, Japanese automakers have dominated the SUV market with their reputation for reliability, fuel efficiency, and value. Names like Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mazda, and Subaru have become synonymous with quality transportation that lasts for hundreds of thousands of miles. But here's the truth that dealers don't want you to know. Not all Japanese SUVs are created equal. In 2025, the Japanese SUV landscape is more diverse than ever, with some models representing incredible value and engineering excellence, while others are outdated, overpriced, or simply outclassed by the competition. Today, we're breaking down the 3 best and 3 worst Japanese SUVs you can buy right now in 2025. Whether you're shopping for your next vehicle or just curious about which models deliver on their promises and which ones fall short, this comprehensive buyer's guide will give you the honest truth. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which Japanese SUVs deserve your consideration and which ones you should avoid at all costs. Let's get started. The 3 worst Japanese SUVs. Number 3 worst, Nissan Rogue. Let's start our countdown with a controversial choice that's going to upset some Nissan fans. But the Nissan Rogue deserves its spot on the worst list. Despite being one of the best-selling SUVs in America, the Rogue represents everything that's wrong with chasing sales numbers instead of building genuinely good vehicles. The Rogue has been redesigned relatively recently, and Nissan has made improvements over the previous generation. But those improvements don't change the fact that this compact crossover is mediocre in almost every measurable category. Let's start with the powertrain, which is the Rogue's most glaring weakness. The 1.5-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine produces just 201 horsepower. That might sound adequate on paper, but in the real world, it's underwhelming. The engine uses variable compression technology, which is clever engineering, but the execution leaves much to be desired. The 3-cylinder configuration creates an inherent imbalance that Nissan tries to mask with engine mounts and sound deadening, but you can still feel and hear it. The engine sounds coarse and unrefined compared to the smooth 4-cylinder engines in competitors like the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Acceleration is adequate but uninspiring, and when you need to pass on the highway or merge into fast traffic, the Rogue feels like it's working hard and complaining about it. The continuously variable transmission is another problem area. Nissan has been using CVTs for years, and while they've improved, they still don't match the responsiveness and durability of traditional automatics. The transmission creates a disconnect between driver input and vehicle response. You press the accelerator, the engine revs up, but the acceleration doesn't match the noise. Interior quality is where the Rogue really disappoints relative to its price point. The cabin uses cheap-feeling plastics throughout, with hard surfaces dominating the dashboard and door panels. The center console feels flimsy, buttons have a hollow click, and the overall ambiance is decidedly budget grade. For a vehicle that costs $30,000 to $35,000, this level of interior quality is unacceptable when competitors offer significantly better materials. The infotainment system is outdated compared to what Honda, Toyota, and Mazda offer. The graphics look dated, the interface isn't intuitive, and the response time lags behind touch inputs. In 2025, when even budget vehicles have decent systems, the Rogue's technology feels like it's from several years ago. Resale value is another weak point. Rogues depreciate faster than RAV4s, CR-Vs, or CX-5s. After 3 years, you'll lose significantly more value with a Rogue than with competitors, which means your total ownership cost is higher than it appears. If you're considering a Rogue, test drive a RAV4, CR-V, or CX-5 first. Any of those vehicles will show you what a compact crossover should actually be. Number 2, worst, Mitsubishi Outlander. The Mitsubishi Outlander takes the number 2 spot on our worst list, and this one might be less controversial because Mitsubishi's struggles are well documented. The Outlander is a 3-row compact SUV that tries to offer more space and capability than 2-row competitors at a lower price point. Unfortunately, you get what you pay for. Let's start with the powertrain situation. The base Outlander uses a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine producing 181 horsepower, which is barely adequate for a vehicle of this size and weight. With all 3 rows occupied or the cargo area loaded, the Outlander feels genuinely underpowered. Acceleration is sluggish, highway passing requires planning, and any sort of spirited driving is out of the question. The engine isn't particularly efficient either, returning mediocre fuel economy numbers that don't justify the lack of power. The continuously variable transmission paired with this engine is crude and unrefined. It exhibits the worst characteristics of CVT technology: excessive engine noise during acceleration, a rubber band feeling when you press the throttle, and occasional hesitation when you need power. It's an outdated feeling powertrain that reminds you that Mitsubishi is no longer a major player in the automotive world. The plug-in hybrid version of the Outlander is better in terms of power and efficiency, but it's expensive and the electric range is limited compared to competitors. You're paying a significant premium for hybrid technology that isn't as advanced as what Toyota or Honda offers. Interior quality is budget grade throughout. The Outlander uses hard plastics extensively, and the materials that are supposed to be soft touch often feel cheap and hollow. The center console is poorly designed with awkward button placement. The infotainment system is slow and frustrating to use, with outdated graphics and an interface that requires too many steps to accomplish simple tasks. The third row is where the Outlander theoretically offers an advantage, but in reality it's barely usable. The third row is cramped even for children, access is difficult, and with it in use, cargo space essentially disappears. You're better off buying a two-row compact crossover with more cargo space. Build quality is a serious concern. The Outlander feels less substantial and solid than competitors. The doors close with a tinny sound, the body structure feels less rigid, and there's more road and wind noise in the cabin. These details add up to a vehicle that feels cheaper than its price suggests. Resale value is terrible. Mitsubishis depreciate faster than almost any other brand, which means you'll lose a huge percentage of your investment in the first few years. The Outlander might look appealing because of its lower initial price, but when you factor in poor resale value, mediocre fuel economy, and potential reliability issues, the total cost of ownership is actually higher than better competitors. Number 1 worst, Nissan Armada. Taking the top spot on our worst list is the Nissan Armada, and this one represents the most disappointing failure in the Japanese SUV lineup for 2025. The Armada is a full-size SUV that competes with vehicles like the Chevrolet Tahoe, Ford Expedition, and Toyota Sequoia. Unfortunately, it fails spectacularly in almost every comparison. The interior is where the Armada really shows its age and lack of competitiveness. Despite being refreshed relatively recently, the cabin feels like it's from a different era. The design is dated, the materials are mediocre, and the overall execution lacks refinement you expect in a vehicle that costs $60,000 to $70,000. The dashboard layout is cluttered and confusing. The center stack looks like something from 2015, not 2025. The infotainment system is Nissan's standard setup, which is behind the times. The screen is small for the class, the interface is clunky, and the overall user experience is frustrating. There's no wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which is inexcusable in 2025. Interior space is actually decent, with comfortable seating for 8 passengers and adequate cargo room. But space alone doesn't make a good vehicle, and the Armada fails in too many other areas. The ride quality is truck-like and unrefined. The Armada uses body-on-frame construction, but the suspension tuning is poor. The ride is simultaneously too soft and too harsh, creating a floaty feeling on highways while still transmitting harshness over bumps. Technology and safety features are behind the competition. The driver assistance systems are basic and feel dated. The adaptive cruise control is jumpy and inconsistent. The lane keeping assist is overly intrusive or not sensitive enough, and the overall suite of safety tech feels outdated. But the biggest problem with the Armada is value. Starting prices around $55,000 to $60,000 put it in direct competition with the Chevrolet Tahoe, Ford Expedition, and Toyota Sequoia. All of those vehicles offer more refined powertrains, better interiors, and more advanced technology. The Tahoe and Expedition make the Armada look hopelessly outdated. Reliability has also become a concern with Nissan products. Resale value is poor compared to competitors, particularly Toyota. An Armada will depreciate significantly faster than a Sequoia or Land Cruiser. Unless you're getting a massive discount, there's simply no reason to buy an Armada. Your money is better spent on literally any other full-size SUV on the market. The 3 best Japanese SUVs. Number 3 best, Mazda CX-50. Now let's shift to the positive side and talk about Japanese SUVs that actually deliver on their promises. Starting at number 3 on our best list is the Mazda CX-50. a compact crossover that proves you don't have to sacrifice driving dynamics and style to get practicality and reliability. The CX-50 is Mazda's more rugged and outdoorsy alternative to the CX-5, and it represents everything Mazda does well. This is a vehicle designed for people who appreciate good driving dynamics and premium materials but don't want to pay luxury vehicle prices. The powertrain options are excellent. The base 2.5-liter four-cylinder produces 187 horsepower, which is adequate for most buyers, but the real sweet spot is the turbocharged 2.5-liter four-cylinder available on higher trims, producing either 227 or 256 horsepower depending on fuel. This engine provides genuinely strong acceleration with smooth power delivery. The 6-speed automatic transmission is well-calibrated, responsive, and feels much more connected than the CVTs used by many competitors. The driving experience is where the CX-50 truly shines. Mazda has always prioritized driving dynamics, and the CX-50 continues that tradition. The steering is weighted perfectly, providing actual feedback from the road. The suspension strikes an excellent balance between comfort and handling, soaking up bumps without feeling floaty while maintaining composed body control in corners. This is a crossover that's genuinely enjoyable to drive on twisty roads. Interior quality is exceptional for the price point. Mazda uses premium materials throughout the cabin, with soft-touch surfaces, quality plastics that don't feel cheap, and thoughtful design details. The dashboard layout is clean and elegant, with physical controls for climate and volume complementing the infotainment screen. The seats are supportive and comfortable for long drives. The CX-50's styling sets it apart from competitors. It has a more rugged and adventurous appearance than the CX-5, with protective cladding and design elements that suggest capability. Build quality is solid, with tight panel gaps and a substantial feeling that inspires confidence. Standard all-wheel drive on most trims is a significant advantage. The system is capable in snow and light off-road conditions. Ground clearance is adequate for dirt roads and mild trails, and the available off-road drive modes help maximize traction. Pricing is competitive and represents genuine value. The CX-50 starts around $28,000, and even well-equipped models stay under $40,000. You're getting a premium driving experience, excellent build quality, and thoughtful design for less money than many competitors. The CX-50 isn't perfect, but for buyers who prioritize driving enjoyment, build quality, and premium feel over maximum space, the CX-50 is an outstanding choice. Number 2. Best Honda CR-V. Taking the number 2 spot on our best list is the Honda CR-V, which might seem like an obvious choice, but it earns its position through genuine excellence across almost every category that matters to real-world buyers. The CR-V has been America's best-selling SUV for years, and the current generation proves that Honda deserves that sales crown. The CR-V was completely redesigned recently, and Honda got almost everything right. This is a vehicle that excels at the practical, everyday tasks that most buyers actually need from their SUV, while also being pleasant to drive and live with. The powertrain is Honda's strong suit. The turbocharged 1.5-liter four-cylinder produces 190 horsepower in the standard model, which is adequate for daily driving. But the real star is the CR-V Hybrid, which combines a 2.0-liter four-cylinder with electric motors for a total of 204 horsepower. The hybrid system is brilliant, providing stronger acceleration than the base engine while returning exceptional fuel economy around 40 mpg combined. The power delivery is smooth and seamless, with the electric motors filling in torque gaps. The continuously variable transmission in the hybrid is well executed and doesn't exhibit the negative characteristics that plague other CVTs. Honda has mastered CVT tuning, making it feel more natural and responsive than competitors. Interior space is exceptional for the compact class. The CR-V has a spacious cabin with excellent headroom and legroom in both rows. The rear seat is comfortable for adults with good thigh support. The cargo area is massive for the segment, with a low-load floor and square shape that maximizes usability. The hands-free tailgate is convenient, and the underfloor storage is genuinely useful. Interior quality has improved dramatically in the current generation. Honda uses better materials throughout, with soft-touch surfaces in the right places and a cleaner design aesthetic. The dashboard is simple and functional, with large climate controls and an infotainment screen that's well integrated. The seats are comfortable and supportive. Honda Sensing, the suite of driver assistance features, is standard on all trims. The systems work well and aren't overly intrusive. Adaptive cruise control is smooth, lane keeping assist is helpful without being annoying, and automatic emergency braking inspires confidence. The CR-V has earned top safety ratings. Reliability is where Honda traditionally excels, and the CR-V continues that tradition. Honda builds are known for lasting hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance. Consumer Reports gives the CR-V excellent reliability ratings, and owner satisfaction scores are very high. Resale value is exceptional. CR-Vs hold their value better than almost any vehicle in the segment. A 3-year-old CR-V typically retains 70% or more of its original value, which means your total ownership cost is lower than cheaper competitors that depreciate faster. Pricing is reasonable and competitive. The CR-V starts around $30,000, and even the hybrid is competitively priced around $33,000. A loaded CR-V hybrid tops out around $40,000, which is fair for what you're getting. The CR-V represents the complete package: space, efficiency, reliability, and value. It does everything well without any significant weaknesses. Number 1 Best Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Taking the number 1 spot on our best list is the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, and this shouldn't surprise anyone familiar with the SUV market. The RAV4 Hybrid represents the best combination of reliability, efficiency, capability, and value available in any Japanese SUV today. It's not perfect, but it's the vehicle that makes the most sense for the most people. The RAV4 Hybrid uses a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder paired with electric motors for a combined 219 horsepower. This is significantly more power than the base RAV4, and the additional torque from the electric motors makes the hybrid feel genuinely quick. Acceleration is strong from any speed, and passing on highways is effortless. The continuously variable transmission is well-tuned and doesn't feel as artificial as CVTs in other vehicles. But the real story with the RAV4 Hybrid is efficiency. This vehicle returns an EPA-estimated 41 mpg city and 38 mpg highway, which are exceptional numbers for a compact SUV with this much capability. In real-world driving, many owners report meeting or exceeding these numbers. Over the life of the vehicle, the fuel savings are substantial compared to non-hybrid alternatives. All-wheel drive is standard on the RAV4 Hybrid, which is a significant advantage. The AWD system uses an electric motor to power the rear wheels, which means instant torque response and excellent traction in snow and slippery conditions. Ground clearance is adequate for light off-road use, and the available TRD off-road model adds genuine trail capability. Interior space is excellent. The RAV4 comfortably seats 5 adults with good headroom and legroom in both rows. The rear seat slides forward and back, allowing you to prioritize either passenger space or cargo room depending on your needs. The cargo area provides 37.5 cubic feet behind the rear seats and nearly 70 cubic feet with them folded. Interior quality is typical Toyota, which means functional but not luxurious. The materials are durable and well assembled, but there's more hard plastic than in premium competitors. The design is straightforward and user-friendly, with large controls and clear labeling. The seats are comfortable for long drives. Toyota Safety Sense comes standard on all RAV4 models, including adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning with steering assist, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and automatic high beams. These systems work well and provide peace of mind. Reliability is Toyota's calling card, and the RAV4 Hybrid delivers. Toyota hybrids have proven track records of reliability, with many Prius and early RAV4 hybrid models exceeding 300,000 miles with minimal issues. The hybrid system is proven and durable, and Toyota's overall build quality inspires confidence. Resale value is exceptional, perhaps the best in the entire SUV market. RAV4 hybrids hold their value remarkably well, often retaining 75% or more of their original value after 3 years. This strong resale value means your total cost of ownership is lower than almost any competitor. The RAV4 Hybrid isn't perfect. The ride quality is firm, the interior materials aren't luxurious, and the driving dynamics aren't as engaging as the Mazda CX-50. But it excels at everything that actually matters for most buyers: reliability, efficiency, space, capability, and value. It's the vehicle that makes the most sense for the most people, which is why it's the #1 best Japanese SUV for 2025. So there you have it, the 3 best and 3 worst Japanese SUVs you can buy in 2025. The worst list shows that even prestigious Japanese brands can miss the mark with outdated designs, poor execution, and questionable value. The Nissan Rogue, Mitsubishi Outlander, and Nissan Armada all represent poor choices in their segments. The key takeaway is that the Japanese automaker badge alone doesn't guarantee quality or value. You need to look at each vehicle individually and compare it to competitors. Test drive multiple options, research reliability ratings, and calculate total ownership costs, including fuel and depreciation. If you found this buyer's guide helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more honest automotive reviews and comparisons. Drop a comment below telling me which Japanese SUV you'd buy, or if you think I got any of these rankings wrong. Share this video with anyone shopping for an SUV this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.